Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and my first Christmas project for 2021. In this video I'm going to show you how to make these adorable side edge Christmas cards with your Cricut machine. So the very front of the card has the little shapes cut out on the edge, so this one's a Christmas tree, and then inside you have a coloured insert, so when the card is shut you can see that colour through, and also when it's put up on a shelf you can see the green poking through the middle. And then for this one on the inside, it's got some sparkly little holographic trees in there as well. So this card template is available for free on my blog, which is craftwithsarah.com. And it comes with just the Christmas trees down the side, and then all of this edge is blank for you to add your own design to it. There's another design included too, which is some matching little snowmen. So let's just try and get that in the shot so you can see. So it works exactly the same with the cutouts down this side, and then this side of the card comes blank for you to add your own decorations to. So let's jump into Design Space and see how to use these files with your Cricut machine. After you've downloaded the free SVG files from the link underneath this video, head to Design Space and then click into Upload. We're then going to go into Upload Image. You'll first need to unzip the folder that the files came in before you can upload the SVG into Design Space. If you're not sure how to do that, then check out the matching tutorial for this video, as I've got some links in there for how to unzip folders. Once you've unzipped it, we need to upload the SVG. All my SVG files start with SVG in the file name, so those are the files that you are looking for. I'm going to drag one in here, so this one is SVG Sidecard Tree. And then it should look like this once you have uploaded it into Design Space. So I'm then going to click Upload and it will save it to the cloud. And now it's in my recent uploads, so I can just click on it and then press Add to Canvas. And here it's my card. So they come in this way by default. If you want to rotate them to make it a little bit easier to see, just go up to the rotate box at the top, type 90 on your keyboard and hit Enter. I haven't added score lines to these SVGs because there is a little bug in Design Space at the moment where if I set something to a score line in my design software, when it comes into Design Space it's saved as a cut line instead of score. So I didn't want to do that and then accidentally have people, cutting a line down the middle of the card instead of scoring. But I know how helpful it is to have those score lines, so I'm going to show you how to add them directly in Design Space. I want to add a score line to both the red part of the card and the green one. So first I need to separate out these layers. If you look on the right hand side of the screen in your layers panel, at the moment you can see these are in a group, which you know because it's got a little arrow on the top that contains both the layers. To ungroup it, click the Ungroup button at the top of the layers panel. And now we can move these apart from each other, which means we can add a score line to each of the individual colours. Go into Shapes and choose a score line. We need to make this the same height of the card, and these cards are 5 by 7 inches, so the height is 7. So I'm going to go into the height up here and type 7 and press Enter on my keyboard. We need the score line to be exactly in the middle of the green piece. So to do that, drag a box around both of those layers to select them. Make sure you don't accidentally get the red one as well. So I've got the green card and the score line. And now I can go into Align and then Center. And that's perfectly placed that score line down the middle of the card. Now I need to attach the score line, and attach is what tells the Cricut that we actually want to do the score line down the middle of this green. If you didn't attach it, then your Cricut would cut the green piece and then it would do a score line completely just next to it on the mat. It wouldn't be where we want it to go. So to attach these two layers, go down to the bottom of the layers panel and press Attach. And that one is now ready, so we can move on to the red. You could make the score line again, just like we did before, or you can click on the one that's already there in your layers panel and press Duplicate, and that will make a copy of it. So this one is already perfectly sized, so I can just drag around the red card and that new score line, and then go Align, Center, and then press Attach, and now that one is ready to cut to. If you want to resize your card so that it's not 5 by 7 inches, we'll need to put these two separate pieces back together. The best way to do that is to press Select All along the top and then go Align, Center once more, and that's put the green behind the red, which is where it's supposed to go, and then at the top of the Layers panel, press Group. Now that this is in a group, it means we can move it all together, and when it's resized, both the green and the red will change size at the same time, so you know that when you cut it out, your green piece in the middle is going to fit. I'm just going to hit undo on that because I do want a 5 by 7 inch card. So now I'm ready to cut it out. So let's click Make It on the top right. And then you can see that that is going to do the score line down the middle on both of the pieces. So all you need to do is follow the instructions on screen to cut both pieces out with your Cricut machine. Here are my two pieces of card, and I'm going to show you the snowman one first. So I'm just folding down that score line on both the outer card and the insert, and then the insert will fit snugly inside. I'm going to use a tape runner to stick the insert in, but you could use glue too. I want this to be really nice and stable and secure, so I'm going to put a couple of different strips of double-sided tape down the back and then one diagonally. And then I'm going to take my insert, twist the card round because I find it easier to line up against the score line when it's this way round, position it up along that fold and then push down to stick all of that double-sided tape. And you'll then find that the insert fits perfectly inside just because it is that little bit smaller than the outer piece. So when the recipient opens the card, you've got all of this room to write your message in. And now we can start decorating the left side of the card. These cards are great for using up some of your craft stash. I got all of these products in clearance last Christmas, so let's put them together and see what we come up with. And then this is going to go all the way down that left side. I've put my products out here and I've roughly placed them where I want them to go, so now I can stick them. I'm using glue with a tiny little needle tip bottle so that I can stick everything on nice and accurately, starting with this circle. I think this is meant to be a gift tag, but it looks great on the cards, so I'm going to use it. Next, I'm going to add the star and then line up the little holes in the top. So just a little bit more glue, and then on top of that will go a bow. I love it when I can buy card making supplies where it all matches or it's part of the same set, because it just really helps everything go together and all the colours will match. I'm going to pop the reindeer out with some foam pads, which I need to cut a bit smaller so that they'll fit. And then just add a few onto the back. Peel the tops off to release all of the sticky, and then I'm going to position that just under the other tags so that it's overlapping a little bit, but it also helps to fill in some of that space on the left of the card. I don't want to show the hole inside the back of the deer, so I'm just going to add some glue and then put a button over the top. And then, because that looks a little bit strange with one random button, I'm going to add a second one on the card above the edge of the deer. So let's just stick that on in the gap, try and decide where to put it, and then stick it down. Finally, I'm going to add my sentiment sticker, so just a little snowflake which says Merry Christmas, and then position that over the top to pull everything together. It's these last little bits that always take the most time. Finally, let's put a bit of sparkle on with some Nuvo glitter drops. This is like glitter glue, but it dries 3D, so you can make nice little domes or circles of glitter on the card. I'm adding a few of these in different places. You don't want too many, otherwise it can look a little bit too busy, but just the odd drop in a few of those places helps to pull all the colours and all the shapes together and give it a nice cohesive matching look to it. Just one more over on the top left, and then this is all done, and I need to wait for that to dry. So I can move on to my next card, which is the Christmas tree one. I've cut this from holographic cardstock, which gives a really cool effect. You can see the lights reflecting from my camera setup, so apologies that it does get a little bit glaring in places. This goes together in exactly the same way, so I folded both the inner and the outer bits, and then I used my I used my double-sided tape to stick the insert in. As this holographic card is quite thick, I do need all of that tape for this one. With the other card, it wasn't quite so thick, so I could have put a little bit less on if I wanted, but holographic, you just want to make sure it's definitely not going to come apart. And there is my card with the 2 layers all done. For the front, I'm going to cut up some scrapbook paper. This is from a set from a couple of years ago by Hell's Couple Ditch, and it's got really lovely little Christmas characters on it. It's not quite big enough, so I need to stick 2 pieces together to fill the front of the card, and then I can line it up, trim the excess, and there we go. I'm using my tape runner to hold this flat so that I can think about what to put on the front to cover that line where the 2 bits of card meet. I think this frame goes quite nicely with the different colours, and to make sure it hides that join, I'm going to stick it to some white card and then just trim it to size. Take all the corners off, just so that that white fits beautifully behind the frame. Next, I can glue this on, but before I do that, I'm just going to add a little bit of green peel-off sticker over the join in case any of it can still be seen. It's all about just neatening things up in whatever way you can to get a really, really great professional quality greetings card. Here's my wooden frame glued on, and then it's ready to put something in the middle. And what better than this little penguin sticker? Finally, a little bit of sparkle is always a good thing, especially with all that holographic effect already on there. So just a couple of gemstones on the bottom left. And then on the inside, I'm going to add the Christmas trees that cut from the front of the card. Couldn't really do this with the snowmen because they cut in lots of different pieces, so it would have taken a long time to put them in, but the Christmas trees work perfectly. Now when you open the card, you'll get that fun little burst of red inside. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these cute little side edge Christmas cards with your Cricut machine. Don't forget the link to the free SVGs is available in the description under this video. I'll be back really soon with some more Christmas craft projects. Thank you for watching. Bye!